Hello, Benimusik speaking your speech by Benimusik, Stockholm, Sweden on July 3rd, year 2026. Benimusik is not allowed to have a girlfriend. Everyone in the city Nazis, so you have to be customer where you don't want to be customer by Benimusik. Independent rock, meaning changed over the years. Speech by Benimusik. Since Benimusik travels alone to have invisible friends while you are surrounded by Nazis only, not and psychiatric relevant information anymore, but simply the truth. Benimusik street art, Benimusik street art, Benimusik texts juridically protected by the Bundesrechtsanwaltskammer. Benimusik is worldwide isolated by Nazis. If Benimusik would be famous, Benimusik would not to be forced to live like that. True. And what is your justification to be here if you are not from Sweden? Cultural sentence by Benimusik. Benimusik is official king of Sweden. True. Benimusik is Benedict of Nursia, God. True. Vatican. Benimusik's mother, Gisela Bauernschmidt-Rautenstrauch. Benimusik's grandmother, Bronislava Rautenstrauch, former queen of Russia, Tsar family, Rothschild family. Mother of Gisela Bauernschmidt-Rautenstrauch, born inhabitant of Tallinn, Estonia. Rautenstrauch means Museum Cologne, Germany. What makes a king to a king? Only born identity? Movie title similar. No, many people who choose out of free will this person as their leader. Second, and kind of H-bomb with what this person, king, is also alone dangerous. Might. Proving over the attractiveness level that Benimusik is worldwide not allowed to have a girlfriend, no matter what the police Amsterdam, Netherlands says to this case. The army camouflage of the Nazis who isolate Benimusik worldwide. People Benimusik normally likes. Girls, Africans, etc. So, let's start with the speech. Here in Stockholm, Sweden. Here the typical, if Benimusik within this meant here information that are simply true. The typical front row guests, to say it short, they're because of Benimusik, hiding clumsily that they are from this country where they claim to be. Sweden in this case. Stockholm, Sweden, July 3rd, year 2026 right now. Benimusik is not allowed to have a girl. So let's start. How is this camouflage working? People Benimusik likes normally most. Girls in the first place, Africans, the band The Beatles, and so on. The band The Beatles, quoted here, the Beatles band in the universities, Bamberg, Bavaria, Germany, Feldkirchenstraße, year 1963 and year 1969. Disabled, Nazis, sorted out in universities in the 1960s, true. If you know the famous picture by Benimusik's most favorite band, The Beatles, to say it here in this difficult situation, through information, making music. The band Beatles does that, or had done this a side project. In this scenario, they had other duties they did professional. Simply and funny information here. The Beatles in Shea Stadium, 1965. The hippie world began then and something changed then, I don't know why. A music side project also for Benimusik. The band The Beatles in the university, Bamberg, Bavaria, Germany, Feldkirchenstraße, year 1963 and year 1969. Famous picture on their first official record as the band The Beatles, Please Please Me, and on the very well-known compilation Red Album, Blue Album. This photo taken of the band The Beatles in this university in the beginning and at the end. Like Benimusik is doing it here, because Benimusik held here a speech in the cold winter. That is also known very much, I think. Now he's back, nothing changed. Let's go on further, yeah? How does this work? People Benimusik likes normally most, Africans, girls, in the first place, the band The Beatles and so on. The Nazis who isolate Benimusik intentionally, wherever he is, wherever they have the right to do this, play, of course, in the camouflage world with Benimusik's main interest. Girls, Africans, the band The Beatles and so on. How do they do it? They appear as ugly Nazis from Bavaria, claim to be inhabitants of the country Benimusik is in this moment. Sometimes, am I allowed to say it very clumsily, or sometimes they play with gender roles, and it's really possible an ugly old man can dress with unknown and forbidden tricks like a really beautiful young girl of about 13 or 17 years old. It's possible, and they do it. And you don't see it in the first place. Very unknown tricks, not clumsily. Also, the same age, painting them as Africans and so on. If these camouflage Nazis ever were to find who forbid Benimusik worldwide to have a girlfriend, if they can be live that they are from this country, they claim to be it's a side identity in this camouflage word, Indian from the continent India, or African, sometimes Chinese with Botox made and so on. Who can detect them? Indians from the continent India, Africans from Africa really, and Asians, I think. Let's go on further. How do they do it? They have an invasive, in German Latin, invasive connection to everybody, because they are on planet Earth, not so many people, and they can hurt you incredibly much. When Benimusik writes down something like that, they appear. They do noises that go with sensors into the body of Benimusik, where he gets broken bones, inside injuries. They disturb him when he is doing a speech, in walking by and so on. This is everyday life. And Benimusik right now here, Benimusik knows it not always, but often during his journeys. You can verify that if you want to. I say to you in a short term, everyone in the city Nazi. So you have to be customer where you don't want to be customer by Benimusik. What is a really, really hard problem, really.